In today's video, my 3 best tips for making sure you reach your physique and weight loss goals. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Rella from ProPhysique.com. In today's video, I wanted to give you guys some inside information, some tips on exactly what you can do to reach your weight loss and fat loss goals. And I think the reason I like these videos is because I feel like there's so much confusion. There's so much micro information out there that it's a little bit overwhelming. You know, you hear all these things about you should do this, you shouldn't do that. And I want to go into exactly what you need to do to make sure you're reaching your weight loss goals, okay? How you should look at things. I like to look at things from a couple different perspectives. The physiology of the human body, how the chemistry works, but also the psychology, okay? How our brains work, what we can do to improve our likelihood of success. And today's question comes from right here. I'm gonna put on the screen my Instagram direct message, so keep sending me your questions, guys. I love to either answer them in the direct message, or if I feel like it's a question that is appropriate for a bigger audience, well, I'm gonna give you guys the video here of that. And if you like this type of information around, you know, reaching the physique of your dreams, the science behind why things work and don't work, the, you know, even the anecdote of the experience that I've had for the last 10 years of, you know, building champions, you know, doing things myself as a coach and as someone who's gone through these processes many times, hit subscribe. It's really what I love to see, is those numbers going up. It tells me that you guys are very interested in this information. So first, let me read the question and then we are going to get into it. I was hoping you may be able to give me some insight on my weight loss goal. I am married. I'm getting married in March 2022 and have made it my goal to lose weight and get into shape by then. I'm 5'10", 200 pounds and about 20% body fat. I have done a calorie calculator and have been making it a point to eat in a calorie deficit and just got back into weight training. Are there any other pieces of advice to help achieve this goal of being in good shape and not overweight for my wedding day? Thank you for your time. All right, so the first thing you gotta realize about weight loss is that the ultimate determination of if you lose weight or if you don't lose weight is a calculation called calories in versus calories out. Now, there's a lot of misunderstanding around this, but understand that there is no way around the idea that you have to burn more calories than you consume. There's a lot of ways you can accomplish this, but the one thing I don't want you guys to get too caught up in is trying to understand how many calories you're burning through exercise, through activity, because that can actually be very difficult to measure, okay? And so when you have an app or a wearable fitness tracker that tells you you're burning this many calories, so you eat those calories back, the research shows that those things can be as high, you know, as 80 to 90% inaccurate at times. And so what you might end up doing is just wasting your efforts. If your goal is to lose body fat and you're trying to create a situation where you burn more calories than you consume, for me, it's all about accountability. You have to be accountable to how many calories you're consuming and then be aware of if the body is changing or not. And from there, you can change your behaviors. So when it comes to behaviors, this is where I think it's very important that we don't set ourselves up for failure. Weight loss diets fail 80 to 85% of the time. And I don't mean that you fail to lose weight. I mean what tends to happen is you gain the weight back. That's what the research shows. But what about those people that actually lose the weight and keep it off? What's the difference there? And that's what we're gonna go over today. So I want you to reach your goal for your wedding. I want you to look fantastic, but to get there, I have to be able to explain some concepts to you. First of all, there are no bad foods. This is my first tip. So the reason I talk about flexible dieting is because once you understand that food is simply macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fats, you can start to look at food a little bit differently. And this is the philosophy that I use with all my clients, whether they're getting on a bodybuilding stage, doing a photo shoot, getting ready for a wedding, or they just want to look good, okay? It's around flexible dieting, meaning you can choose different food options. Perhaps you have a cultural reason for eating the way you eat, an ethical or moral reason, or perhaps it's just simple digestion. I think milk is wonderful, but I can't have milk. Therefore, I can't have whey protein, okay? So I have created my own supplement. It's a vegan protein powder. Why? Because I need it, okay? So what you choose to eat needs to fit the construct of your life. It needs to be something that you morally, ethically agree with, something that you digest well, whatever the reason, and then it also needs to fit your macronutrient goals for the day. That way you can set yourself up for success. If you tell yourself you have to avoid foods because they're bad for you, You are psychologically setting yourself up for failure. There are no bad foods. I want you to stop what you're doing right now and repeat after me. There are no bad foods, okay? As long as you can digest it, as long as you can process it, as long as it's morally and ethically in line with your beliefs, it is not a bad food. However, some foods will be better options based on our macronutrient goals, our calorie goals, our weight loss goals, okay? So what we tend to do is start to really focus on the foods that fit our goals the best. If you have no idea where to start, well, I knew you'd say that. I have a free macronutrient calculator that basically gives you all the information you need. I'll put a link below to it, and it's on my website and it's free. The second tip that I want to give you around reaching your weight loss goal is that all movement helps us lose weight. You see these movements I'm doing with my hands right here? That's called non-exercise activity thermogenesis. There's some really cool research out there that's been done over the years that shows that people that tend to fidget more, move more, have a little more, pep in their step, those people can burn as much as 1,000 more calories a day than someone their same height and same weight who does not get as much movement in, okay? So my second tip for the day is find a reason, find an excuse to get up and get moving. If you are a very sedentary person, you have a job that makes you sit at your desk all day, perhaps you ask for a standing desk. I've made this transition. I now have a standing desk. If you're someone that has a sedentary job and you don't really have a lot of options in that regard, get up before work, go for a walk, take a walk at lunch, come home from work, take another walk. Find ways to fit in more movement. Any type of activity that we can do, this is going to allow us to create a better environment for weight loss. I do not agree with the idea of really restricting calories to reach your weight loss goals. Restricting calories is going to have a real negative impact on many things, including things like our association with food and hunger. And we're gonna say, I just can't wait till the diet's over. However, if you just start to manage your calories and just start to keep them stable, but find time and reasons to move more, that's a much more sustainable approach. And it's much less likely that you are going to have a problem maintaining the weight loss. Why? Because you're changing your habits and you're changing your lifestyle. Nobody can live on 600 calories a day. And these ridiculous diets where they teach people to fast and they teach people to just eat nothing all day, yes, you can lose an extreme amount of weight, but at the same time, you are changing your body and putting it in a place where it's going to be more likely that you put the weight back on very quickly. So, understanding that I'm not saying fasting is bad, what I'm saying is do not eat extreme low calorie diets for long periods of time and expect to keep that weight off. I get hundreds of comments, stating, yes, I was able to lose 40 pounds, but I put it all back on plus weight. Why? Because they didn't change anything except they just started starving themselves on these super low calorie diets. That is a shortcut that is going to be bad for you. However, moving more, as long as it fits your day and your lifestyle, is going to be good for you. Find reasons to get up and move more. That is tip number 2. Tip number 3, and without a doubt, this is the trait that every successful dieter has. Every successful person that loses weight, keeps it off, reaches their goals, does something like this. They know what they're gonna do in advance. They have planned their day, maybe even a couple days, maybe even a full week, maybe even beyond that ahead of time, okay? They're not waiting until they wake up tomorrow to figure out what they're gonna eat. They're not waiting until they wake up tomorrow to figure out what time they're gonna go to the gym, what time they're gonna do their exercise. They have actually already planned ahead. They have prepped their meals, and if they didn't prep their meals and say they're gonna go out to eat, they've already looked up what they're gonna eat on the menu on the website because they wanted to look up the nutritional information. Planning ahead is the single greatest thing you can do for yourself. It's the one trait that I find that us that get into extreme physical condition, and I'll put a video here of myself in extremely lean, muscular physical condition when I'm getting ready for a bodybuilding show. The reason I can accomplish that is the same reason I can run a business, can have a family. I plan ahead, okay? I'm not reacting to situations. I'm planned ahead for every situation. I know that if I get home tonight and my wife is too tired to cook dinner, I have 5 different backups for food, okay? Just like when I'm in prep and I'm dieting down and my clients are dieting down, they don't wake up and start looking through the pantry to see what they're gonna eat. They don't go out to a restaurant and wonder what they're gonna get. They have planned ahead. one of the most common things that I see in the research studies is that the people that are successful with weight loss, they often already have their meals set aside in the fridge. Why? When you're hungry, you make bad choices. When you're hungry, you don't make the choice that's often right. You make the choice that's easy. Let's say you're stressed and it's a busy day at work, or you're a busy time with your kids and you're hungry. Are you going to sit down and grill some chicken or cook something that's going to be high in protein, low in fat, and help you reach your goals? Or are you just going to go through the drive-thru or walk over to the gas station and get something that's, although probably delicious and tasty, very much less likely to help you reach your goals? Now, even if you do make those decisions, you can still, if you're going to get some fast food, which I'm not saying is always the right thing to do, but sometimes it's a must, you can still make a good choice when you do something like that. You can get, the low calorie options when you do this. And this is where I'm gonna give you my fourth tip, my fourth little secret tip. Now, you actually have already done it. You have a wedding date. Setting a date for you to reach your goals is the most powerful tool for people to be successful. If I was you and you were worried about reaching your goal, I would have a picture of you in a tux, or I would have something related to your wedding on your phone, okay? I have my kids on there. But what you would do and oftentimes I do this, when I'm getting ready for a bodybuilding show, I have the flyer for the show. I have a picture of a trophy, something on there that is a constant reminder of the date that is coming. Those deadlines are really what drives success. This is why when we do our 90-day transformation challenge that we're gonna be doing this January, this is why you see these people losing 20, 30, 40 pounds, putting on muscle, completely changing their lives. We have a deadline. We have a submission deadline for those pictures. Same thing with my bodybuilding competitors, my fitness competitors. We know the date of the show. We have in our brains a built-in reason to not mess up. This is what you need to do, okay, for your fitness goal. Don't just say things like, I'd like to be in better shape. No, say, I'm going on vacation on this date. I'm gonna be on the beach. Let me focus and get my life in order, make good decisions, be planning ahead, and do all the tips in this video up until that date. And by the time you get there, the cool thing is you will have changed your perspective. Not only your physique is gonna look better, but you're going to be a more accomplished, more confident human being, and you're gonna be able to maintain and even set new goals that you can achieve because you've already set the first one and achieved it. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for me for today's video. I hope you guys are having a great Monday, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.